Hey, brothers, you're listening to Home Bar Happy Hour. We're talking about carnies. We're talking about the boat days. We're talking about Iraq vets. And we're talking about pissing in public pools. Let's roll, America.
Boom. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Happy Hour. Thank you guys so much for stopping in, hanging out with us. If you like this show, please give us a like, a subscribe. We really appreciate it. Leave us a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or something like that. It helps a lot. The algorithm. How are you doing today, Michael, Chef Gus?
I'm doing great, Joe. I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to see you're doing good, too. Like you told me, impersonation is the best form of flattery. So we have an upcoming. There's two imposters out there trying to recreate what we're doing, and it's pretty flaky, man. But they don't have what it takes, man. They don't have what it takes. We got Joe over here, the secret weapon. Joe's got me, the character. Psh, good luck with that, homies. That's all we gotta say.
Secret sauce.
Yeah, that's the secret sauce, brother. But yeah, man, it was another successful weekend out in a boat. Took my aunt out, my mother. They had a great time. We rafted off down there on the Great Susquehanna, and yeah. The only problem that I had was when I came back, and I just noticed it today, was I was about to go down the house at the end of the street. I'm coming up I nearly hit it. They had a branch that was down, and it was down for like a week, and they never cut it down. And I nearly hit it with the boat coming back up. And I was like, I'm grabbing my pole saw, and I'm going the fuck down there, and I'm going to cut that bitch off and just sling it in their front yard.
Yeah, tear it up.
It was getting on my nerves, man. But today I came back from the grocer, and I saw that they had cut it down, so they were lucky. Well, not lucky. I was like, they did their part of the neighborhood. You know, if I had a branch like that hanging over, I'd want to cut it down immediately. I don't want people bitching.
Yeah. You can't just leave that stuff hanging out in the middle of the road. That's brutal.
Can't let it hanging out.
Can't let it hang.
I mean, there's some things you can let hang out, but
that's not one of them.
Branches aren't one of them. Yeah, we had like a boat pool party. Dude, it was a great weekend, man. The only bad thing about it was I didn't screen up at all, and I got sun poisoning, and I was dead.
Yeah, so starting to peel and everything.
Not as bad as I was last week. This was more like a deep burn.
Yeah.
So yeah, I rose up from the ashes. I rose up like the Undertaker,
like the Phoenix.
Yep, I'm back. I hit the gym this morning.
Nice,
feeling good. Sweat out, yeah. So, but yeah, we're like talking about pool parties and stuff like that, man. The summer is the best time. Remember, I don't know if you ever went to any drive-ins when you were a kid?
Oh yeah, there's a really nice drive-in in Maryland. Actually, it's like probably about an hour outside of Baltimore, and they're great. They do double features every Friday and Saturday night. I just went to one right around Philly at Halloween time. Saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a group of people. Drive-ins are fun. I will say I do not prefer to watch a movie in a drive-in. I prefer to go to a theater to have like a better audio experience. But if it's a movie you've seen 100 times, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that, or, you know, just a fun like summer flick, then, you know, going to a movie theater is not bad. But I'm not going to go see like Mad Max Furiosa at a drive-in, right, and miss out on that sweet Atmos sound mixing and, you know, the, you know, beautiful 2K projectors. I'm going to go see that in an IMAX theater the way God intended.
Well, like man intended.
Sure.
God did not create the IMAX movie theater. He may have implemented the brain knowledge of creating such tech. Wow. But but yeah, the drive-in that you went to down in Maryland by Baltimore, is that down in Essex?
It might be Essex. I'm not 100% sure. Um, uh,
Like is it right next to a McDonald's and stuff like that? I don't a Royal Farms gas station.
well, Royal Farms pepper that ridiculous
What about
state.
right next to the Air Force base right there where they have the warthogs?
It could have been.
Did you pass?
I
Dude,
have
that's
no
right
idea.
where my fellow fraternity brother and captain of the Seven Seas lives. Right,
Oh, yeah?
right around the corner. You know, he's lived down there for going on probably 10 years now, and he's yet to go to it. I'm like, how?
Really?
What? You live right there?
Yeah,
I
it's
was like,
pretty
have
cheap too.
Dude, I love going to drive-ins, man. My mom, I think we went over this in a previous episode, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but man, like going to drive-ins in the summer were always the best, man. I always like saw some of the best movies there, and I do believe we did go over this. So, but yeah, man, I got this. So there's like the one's going out of business. The one that I used to go to when I was a kid. That's such a shame. But there's another one down here south of Harrisburg, and they're still up and going. But I want to like bring some of that like nostalgia to the neighborhood kids and stuff like that who come over with their parents and hang out in my bar.
Sure.
I got a blow up movie screen, and I got a projector that only goes like cheap projector that only goes on like you can only see the movies when it's like right at dusk, like the sun's already down when like there's still light but the sun's kind of already down.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, just doing s'mores and hot dogs on a fire, throwing out a big blanket for the kids and letting them enjoy like a classic movie like Jurassic Park or Back to the Future and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But
That's really cool.
speaking of like stuff for like kids, man, you remember how awesome it was to go to like a carnival or a fair to see the carnies and you know what I mean, play all that, those games and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we used to go to the Cecil County Fair every year growing up, and so I grew up in a very religious household, Mike. And I'll tell you, so going to the fair was terrible for me because my parents would only bring me on Thursday night, and Thursday night consisted of two things at the Cecil County Fair. One, it was wristband night. So you paid like $15 and you got a wristband and you could ride all the rides for free. Typically, it's like 4 or 5, it's $1 a ticket, and some rides are $3, some rides are 4. But on that night, it's $15. You can ride all the rides as much as you want. Looking back and seeing fairs now, I would never in a million years get on any of those rides. Like, holy cow, they're all put together by drunks and alcoholics with Elmer's glue and Band-Aids. I mean, those things are
I think we'd fit right in.
This dude just showed up in Cecil County, Maryland, and pulled a roller coaster out of a suitcase, and I'm like 7 years old. Like, let me get on that thing. Like, there is no way that is safe. But the other thing that happened on Thursday night at Cecil County Fair was it was also gospel music night, and my parents, being the good Christians they are, just love that old-timey gospel music. So I would go there, and all my friends from school would also be at the fair, and they get the wristbands, and they get to ride these mobile death traps while I'm stuck sitting with my parents listening to 4 to 5 hours of Southern gospel music out in the blazing August heat. It was absolutely brutal. So I am a little salty when it comes to fairs. Fairs and carnivals. That was my growing up experience.
I mean, look at it. So I grew up in a blue collar household, and like so we weren't a lot of the people up in the mountains were pretty much the same. But yeah, like so my mom would take us. It was the Gratz Fair. And it still goes on to this day, and it's actually still a big deal. But we would kind of always go on Demolition Derby Day.
Okay.
Just to see, like, because that was like the action in town. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
then now
for sure.
It's gotten a lot. It's gotten a lot. Safety. Safety's taken involved and stuff like that. They can only go so fast, and they got to wear all this stuff now. And
thanks, Obama.
It used to be like, man, I didn't say anything. It's not his fault. But But yeah, like and you were talking about like the death traps. I totally 100% agree because you know why? I just don't feel like they. I imagine that they still make the stuff, but they don't make it as much as they used to because back when we were kids, carnivals and fairs were like a big thing. Like let's go down, so everything was brand new. So the manufacturers, that was a big thing for them making the stuff. So it was expensive and stuff at the time. It's like kitchen equipment. You invest your money into this stuff and you're going to keep that equipment around as much as possible and they take care of it and stuff like that because that's an investment. And now it's just like, hey, let's just travel to different towns and stuff like that and try to get as much money out of this as we can before it goes broke because nobody's really digging I feel like carnivals and fairs aren't as big as they used to be. I mean, obviously a lot of people still go to them.
Yeah.
Like in their real, but I mean, outside of that, I just, I really don't see that much interest from a lot of people that they want to go to them because, like you said, they're afraid. They're like death traps and stuff like that. Plus, like you go to these, like what is it, the fun houses and the haunted, like, dude, you know how much bacteria? Do you think they clean that shit?
Oh, I'm sure
No,
they clean it.
They don't.
You talking about like a haunted house? Yeah, they got to.
Yeah,
There's
like the
spit
haunted house and stuff like that. You're
all over the
walking through it.
place.
Yes. Yeah. Like, nah, no sorry.
Yeah.
But like you're watching like, nostalgia places like Stranger Things season 3 and It 2 and a lot of these that have like all these carnivals and stuff like that. Dude, I miss it. It was so much fun. But like I said, man, like the demand for it isn't up like it used to be. And,
Well,
I mean, it's kind of sad. It's like all that stuff is starting to. It's like a tree. It's slowly rotting away. It's slowly dying.
There's still some fairs out there. I think the largest fair or carnival or something, whatever it is. I think it's a fair. I don't know what the difference is, but the largest state fair. That's what it is. Happens actually in Anaheim. California. Me and Elizabeth went out to that one year. That was a lot of fun. It was a blast. I like going to fairs because I like big turkey legs and I like funnel cakes. And you can't just like walk in anywhere and get a turkey leg. And you can't just like go buy a funnel cake. You got to wait for fair
I don't know
time.
if I want to get a. Yeah, that's where you. I go there. I'd go there for funnel cake, popcorn. I don't know. There's too much other stuff there, man. Oh, French fries. If it's got like boardwalk fries written on it, I was like, I don't care if it's boardwalk fries or not. If it's fresh cut fries, man, it's got my name on it.
Smother them bad boys
Those
in
are like
vinegar.
but I can only eat so much of it, and then you start getting sick because
for sure.
Not like especially right now that I haven't eaten that shit in like 6 months.
Are you a turkey leg fan? Do you like getting those big giant turkey legs that are like $18 and just walking around with that thing?
Nope.
Oh,
No, I'm very because I could do it myself. I'm not paying $18 for this shit. I'm gonna pay like the money, I'll pay the for a hot dog or something like that. I'm not a real big foodie when I go to a carnival.
But how often are you cooking turkey legs, Mike? Are you just like going to the grocery store on the weekend
right now?
You have a turkey leg on you?
I got a whole turkey right in the freezer, man. I'll thaw that bitch out and smoke her up right now.
I'm gonna hold you to that. Next time I'm at your place, I want a turkey leg. You just like
you want one?
Yeah,
I'll make you some turkey legs.
Hand me a turkey leg. I love those.
I just did a spatchcock turkey in the smoker, man, dude.
Ooh.
The best, or no, not a turkey, a chicken,
yeah,
dude. I do so. The spatchcock is just for the audience, is how you cut the chicken. So I cut it right down the spine, open it up, crack the breastbone, and then you're laying it flat down. So the whole chicken's just cutting like just not entirely in half. You're just cutting it down the spine and you're flattening it out.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know. And then what I do is I have it in a marinade, and I always keep my pickle juice from pickles. And then I use that, and then I add that with like some sort of like garlic and parm, or some sort of Italian dressing, or any type of like brining liquid. I mix it all together. Maybe I'll add it if I'm doing a fried chicken, I will add just the pickle juice and buttermilk, and that's it. Outside of that, so I pull it out, spatchcock it, flatten it out, and then I'll do an Alabama white sauce. And Alabama white sauce is you're basically just mixing seasonings or your rub that you want to use with mayonnaise, and then you're covering it with that whole mixture. You're sticking it in a smoker and letting it smoke. And let me tell you, people are like, ew, mayonnaise? Dude, the ingredients in mayonnaise, egg, and everything else, like that, like all that fat, like really, like when it caramelizes, it crisps up the chicken. And you'll feel like it's a fried chicken, like one big fried, like just like you're just dropping a fried turkey, or like this is like this almost the same, but it tastes so much better. And I did one yesterday, and it's fantastic, man. It's going to be hard for me not to venture away from that to do smoked chicken or turkey. That's going to be a lot of mayonnaise on that turkey, but
yeah, I throw mayonnaise on
man.
I throw mayonnaise on a turkey before I put it in on Thanksgiving morning, and it definitely helps keep it moist inside. Yeah,
yeah, you could do it in the oven, and it gives it a very moist and like a crispy outside, and it's I don't know, I love it, man.
Mayonnaise,
but it really works good for
that's
a
the secret.
Yeah, plus no carbs.
There's no carbs in mayonnaise?
No, there's no carbs in mayonnaise.
All right, if you say so. I don't know.
Well, you got to look at certain mayonnaise. If I'm a Duke's mayonnaise guy, so there's like less than 1 gram. So that's like, everybody knows what a gram is.
Sure.
It's like, so, but speaking of like childhood days, man, did you ever have any favorite board games? Did you ever play board games when you were a kid?
My family would bust out the old Clue every now and then, or we'd play some Uno. Mike, I'm not a very competitive person. Competition kind of ruins it for me. I like to hang out and have a good time. And when people start getting real upset about Monopoly or Risk, and people get mad. I am pretty good at Risk. That's like,
I'm one who got mad. I'm a competitive person.
And
to a
I'm
point.
I'm not gloating. I'm not braggadocious. I just I have played Risk with people who thought they were pretty good at Risk, and I have the stupid app on my phone and I play it online all the time, and I am just pretty good at this stupid board game. And people
dude, you have Risk on your phone?
Absolutely.
Why didn't you ever tell me this? I have Risk on my phone. We could be playing.
We could be challenging each other for world domination on the regular. Yes, I love the Risk board game.
And that way we don't have to hand the board off to a neutral party to watch it if we have to take a break.
Exactly. Yeah, so
Ukraine is feeble. Boy, how that seasoned well.
Yeah, that aged like milk. But what about you, Mike? What are some of your favorite go-to board games from childhood or beyond?
So my mom would play board games with us, like Boggle and Uno and Clue and a few others. I believe we had like Barrel of Monkeys and Mousetrap, but the one constant in the family was Monopoly.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't and then when I got older, I couldn't stand it because there's a difference when you play the Monopoly rules, which is the common way. That's the best way.
Okay.
And then there's a way when you got to play it the Gustin rule. And my dad made it because there's no patience. Like, my dad has no patience. Like, that from him on up the family ladder, have no patience. So they made these rules so that the game would be over in like 2 or 3 rounds going around the board.
What are the rules?
And it was, dude, I refuse to play them now. I tried to get behind it, and it's like it's either my dad or my brother because they always sit at those two ends. If you're sitting on these two sides, you're gonna lose. Like this side's you're statistically, the statistics of you going out are very high.
Okay.
If you're on that side of the board. So, and the board always has to be like the starting point always has to be over here where the go to jail, the parking lot ticket, or the jail and the passing through is over here. The going to jail is over here, top right. Just to give you an idea of how I'm looking at this. So if you're sitting between jail and go, you're going to win the game. If you're sitting between passing through jail and free parking, your chances of winning the game are pretty good, but not as good as the right side. If you're sitting in my spot, you're most likely probably going to lose. If you're sitting on there, you're definitely losing.
Okay.
You're nobody. I've never seen a member of my family win from where the camera's sitting right now. I've never seen them. Never. But we always got to come. I'm not, and then it's always got to be my dad's way or the highway. I'm not playing unless we're playing the Gustin rules. Well, I guess then we're not playing. Oh no, Mike! Come on! Don't give me that Mike shit. Why don't you tell that to Dad? Nope. And I'm like, sorry, but yeah.
To be fair,
so,
Monopoly can be a very long game. It can last like
absolutely.
hours.
Well.
But
yeah, that's why. Well, but it's a good. I love it. Sometimes, I mean, if you get with like competitive people, like who know and played the game for that long, and that they love, that's how you're going to be. You know what I mean? When they nickel and dime and stuff like that.
Yeah, the wannabe real estate moguls that are trying to bankrupt everyone. Yeah.
I like to. Well, there's the other thing too, is that like nobody on the board likes to trade.
Oh.
Nobody wants to trade. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'll trade you this and like $400 for State Avenue.
No one gets in on that action, huh?
I'm not giving it. Yeah, I'm not giving that up. They want your whole bank account, or they want nothing.
Well,
that's what it comes down to. But if you play it on a computer, it's pretty fair.
Yeah, there's a PlayStation there's like 600 PlayStation versions of it.
Got it on the phone.
Yeah. And that actually is nice because you don't have to set up the board game. You don't have to put all the pieces away. I'm
always the boat,
and it runs.
I'm always the ship.
Yeah, it runs at a little faster clip. That's a lot of fun. It
used to be funny. It's like, oh, here comes the ship.
Yeah,
here comes the ship, dude. They would my dad and my brother. They were like this, like that, and because I'd be coming around there and just roll. And it'd be like, oh, because they know when they put that hotel on there, you're sunk. We sunk the ship.
That'll do it.
I have a video from Christmas. Oh, it was fucking good. It was real good. My brother-in-law decided he wanted to play, which was, it's always good when you get more than 4 people to play in the Gustin rules, because then everybody's chances are thrown into the wind.
Sure.
So, I mean, there is that, but it's always the 4 of us. Me, my brother, my sister, and my dad. My mom never wanted to play because she was like, I'm not playing this. You guys are too wild.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like she's the smart one to stay out of that buffoonery.
Yes. And then Risk. Yes, Risk was our all-time. So we did start off by playing Risk. My dad never played it. So it was always me, my brother's best friend, and my friend from that we grew up in the country. So he was like 5 miles away.
Yeah.
So he was considered the neighborhood friend, but he was best friends with my brother. But we all grew up together. He was friends with my brother. I had other friends, and but yeah, he would come over, and then my sister would play too. We would play Risk, and or it would be just me, my brother, and Matt, and Mike, and yeah, we used to have a good time. Then the Lord of the Rings shit started coming around. And the Lord of the Rings Risk was awesome. It was pretty cool.
Was that just like a different map, I guess? Same rules, but it's like a map of Middle Earth or something?
Yeah, it was Middle Earth, and you had like, you had elves and men and orcs and...
Do you have the trees? Those stupid trees that walk everywhere in those movies?
No, it was just there was either... Or actually, to tell you the truth, I think it was just men and orcs. That's all I think it was. There may have been some elves in there. I'm not sure. It's like your archers, but like you had the eagles were like, considered like the tanks.
Okay.
And then what the hell were the big orcs with the big cave trolls. They were the equivalent, so they were for 10. But yeah, that was always good, man. In the summertime, we'd be playing out on the deck in the pool, man. I'll never forget, Liam, man. I flipped out one time, and I threw the fucking board. All the fucking pieces went flying into the grass. And then I spent like the next hour looking for everything, and I felt bad. I'm pretty sure I still owe him for that board.
Yeah.
And he probably, once he watches this, he'll probably be texting me, "You sure do."
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Like, I just totally forgot about it. You know, we were kids at the time. The next time that we were playing Risk was with me, Downey, Singleton, Foley, and Conley, and another dude. And we were on the back. We were on the back of a 40-foot trailer up in Missoula. Like, we were always, whenever both our platoons were together on mission, like, break out the Risk game, man. And I still have it. I still have that Risk game that we used to play. And but this one time we were up in Missoula playing, we were on the back of the board. Oh, it's so funny. Foley would have me cracking up, and we're up there playing and stuff. And next thing, this is like, I don't know, afternoon, I'm guessing. And next thing you know, mortars start fucking falling in right near the fucking trucks, dude. Like, dude, the board, like, we just jumped off the fucking trail, like, oh shit, the game's come alive.
Yeah, right.
You know, but it wasn't, you know, it was the fucking cocksuckers, you know. Like I said, man, Iraq vets, man, we were fucking the 2003 initial in between the initial invasion and the start of the insurgency, man. We were just, it was a wild time, man. I remember Green Berets, we used to haul for them. They're like, you guys are fucking maniacs, dude. You guys just don't care. I was like, well, what are we supposed to do? Like, we don't have any armored trucks. We're riding up in a 915 with fiberglass bodies. We're wearing Vietnam flak vests. Like, we have, like, no escorts because all the escorts go, like, at, like, 15, 20 miles an hour when our best defense is speed, and we roll at, like, 65, 70 miles an hour. You know, like, that's our best defense with speed. Like, just, you know, by the time they shoot at you, you know how hard it is to shoot at a moving object going 65, 70 miles an hour? It's pretty fucking hard from a distance.
Pretty tough. So you gotta be
and then
wily.
when they're shooting at you, and then while you're going to shoot at them, like, can you imagine pulling the M16 A1, like pulling that cocksucker out and trying to get it out the cab window?
Yeah, it's not going to work.
It doesn't even happen. So it's like, I'm like, whatever. It's like, if you're the A driver, you're like, oh, we're getting shot at? Oh, well, let me know if we make it. Just fucking fall back asleep.
Yeah.
Are we out? Oh, just light up a cigarette. All right, cool. But they were always using this to draw us out. I don't know, we're going down, but I wanted to touch on Iraq vets because I just got into a phone call the other day with an old timer. He was my army dad, and see, he just sounds like he's a little lonely and stuff like that. He's an old guy. I mean, he was basically my age right now when we were in Iraq. So, do the math.
Yeah.
And he doesn't sound like he's doing too well. And you know, it's about like I don't know. It's you know, we're all getting old. You know, it's a part. You know, so I'm wishing him well. And we were on the phone for like 3 hours and just, you know, shooting the shit and talking about stuff. You know, talking about memories and you know, I'm just trying to be there for other people, you know what I mean? Just being there for other vets. And man, we did have a good time, man. Like us in that unit, man, we were like fucking pirates, dude. If it wasn't bolted to the ground, we were taking it.
Oh man,
it didn't matter, man. We ransacked Saddam's fucking palace. Dude, I took my saw and like smashed the butt right off the fucking marble staircase. Took a piece of marble with me. Yeah, and I ripped out the fucking. We had a bathroom. There was a because we were transients at the time. This is why you can't have good things. I'm like, fuck this. They're demolishing this building or redoing it anyway. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, his son's house has spaghetti strings of reinforced rods hanging from the fucking ceiling from the bunker busters coming into it. I'm like, they're not going to give a shit if I fucking take this bathroom fucking shelf. Ripped it right out of the fucking wall. Yeah. I got that in the fucking case. But yeah, it was, oh, dude, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I did a lemon drop off the top dive board into Saddam's pool.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, so when we took it over, the civilians ended up getting that pool up and running, so it was like a MWR type of thing. For everybody that was at the palace, like CIA and government officials and stuff like that. And man, I remember I did that lemon drop and I hit square right on my back. And I, like, you ever get that? That's what I was like. I want to just piss my pants because I'm like in so much. It was like that much stinging, and I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh my god. And they're like, shut up, dude, shut up. But yeah, overall it was different. It was different, and so, but yeah, man, it was good to get in touch with some of those '03 Iraq vets, and remember, you know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of those guys just that were over there, you know, they kind of get forgotten about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's good to, remember the times and remember the people.
Yeah, I had a kid. I was just telling our one buddy Downey. I was at the grocery store this morning after the gym, and like I'm in this tank top, you know, I'm in just getting meat and veggies and stuff like that. We're scanning them through, and the kid's there scanning my shit. And he's like, "Were you in the army or were you in the military?" And I was like, "Yeah." I didn't say that. I was like, "Yeah, I was." And then he's like, what's OAF and OEF mean? And I was like, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Oh. Was Iraq? Was that the Gulf? No, that was in the same region, but that was in 1989, 1991. No, Operation Iraqi Freedom was in 2003.
Yeah.
Well,
the new
2015 or
so. Hey, I got a question for you, Mike. Since we're kind of touching on it, the new Call of Duty, the Black Ops 6, that takes place during the Gulf in the early to late 90s. There's some rumors that it's going to end with a certain tragedy in 2001. Do you feel it's a little too soon for a video game to be going back to this era? The Gulf War. I mean,
no, I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
We're in. No, that was like 34 years ago.
Yeah, it was a minute ago, right? 91-ish is when it started up.
I mean, they were doing like Vietnam, Vietnam and Cold War stuff. The 70s, 80s.
Well, yeah, you had movies
the
and
late
stuff.
90s, early 2000s when video games really started to pick up in 2000s. Yeah, so no, I don't. I mean, what are they gonna? They're gonna have to do it soon, dude. That's when you're starting to get. That's when when they start doing stuff from Afghanistan, and they start doing like a lot more movies from Afghanistan and stuff like that. Like they do a lot of World War II movies and Vietnam movies now. Just wait till they start doing Iraq and Afghanistan movies.
I mean, they do a lot of
I know
Iraq
they came
and
out
Afghanistan movies.
Yeah, but they took a stop at it and they averted back to World War I and World War II.
Yeah, there's just
I feel like
war movies are just very.
I feel like
titillating. So there's a lot of war movies that come out.
Yeah, and I feel like they're really they want they're getting away from like the super. Like I felt like Lone Survivor was. Now I can't watch that movie.
No,
but I mean I've watched it a couple times, but it's. I would say it was a Navy SEAL movie and stuff like that, but it had there was a lot of similarities between what we went through and you know what I mean. There was a connection.
Yeah,
there was more of a connect. American Sniper, I connected more on that on the PTSD side more than I did with the actual Iraq war, scenes and stuff like that. But again, that's another movie that I've seen a couple times and I just can't watch it anymore. Because I think like the biggest thing for me is when in these movies is the biggest thing is watching veterans suffer in the movies.
Yeah,
like who they portray, and because I understand how hard that hurts and how you know what I mean. Like it's just based on your experience, no matter how big and no matter how small. Like in a combat situation or combat like theater and like all that pressure and stuff on you and stuff like it's just there's you start to simulate and and then like the whole you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get back to the good stuff here. I feel like we're but dude, back to the 90s, man. Public pools. Dude, public pools were the best. Man, I remember going to public pools and like the one public pool, dude, you get like Elio's pizza and Lay's potato chips, hot dogs, soda, popcorn, like all this stuff from the snack stand. Everybody, all you and all your friends are playing in the pool and stuff. Then I don't think they didn't have chemicals in the pool, so you could just piss in the pool whenever you want. Like they they didn't have the pee detecting chemical.
Right, that like turns green and follows you around.
Yeah. Plus, that was like the hangout spot in the summertime.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted to hang out with your friends from school, you knew where they were going to be. They were going to be at the public pool.
Right.
Because that's where all the kids wanted to be at.
Yeah.
Now I feel like it's, I don't know. It's a little bit different now.
Yeah.
I mean, all the public pools basically closed up there where I live.
There's two very close to me but they're like swim clubs. So yeah, they're not public pools, right? They're swim clubs. So you got to pay whatever it is, a few $100 a year to go to it. My public pool over the summer growing up was always the YMCA. My parents had a subscription there or membership, and we'd go there, and they had a really nice pool, man. The one we went to, it had the slide and the diving board and all that good stuff. Nice like outdoor pool to just kind of hang out.
I remember when a YMCA first opened up there in the mountains when I grew up, and it was such a big deal that the school, and it literally like opened up like not even like 3 miles away from the school.
Yeah.
And they took my entire grade over for field day. Ugh. Tie-dye t-shirts, making, swimming, all this stuff. And I'm just like, ugh. I remember field trip days, man, coming down to Harrisburg and going to the Space Museum.
Yeah, yeah.
And we did a field trip down to Washington, D.C. for the Holocaust Museum.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but those were my 8th grade trips. I'm trying to remember some of my other field grade trips, but yeah, dude, it was pretty good.
So I got a funny story for you, Mike, just popping off of that real quick. So a couple years ago, me and some of my family, my dad, my brother, we did a few days on the Appalachian Trail. So we're hiking and we're staying there. And we come up, you know, it's like day 2, I think. We stopped by one of the little rest areas, and we're sitting there getting ready to make food. And there's 2 guys chilling at the rest area. They're also making food. Start talking to them. They're nice guys. Find out they're from Germany. They came over. They're spending like 2 weeks in America. They're doing a couple days on the Appalachian Trail, and then they're going down to DC. And they were like, oh yeah, we're really excited to go to DC. And I was like, oh, DC is great. Like there's a lot of really cool museums down there. You should go check them out. And they're like, oh, what's like a good museum to go to? And the only thing I could think of was the Holocaust Museum. And I'm like, I can't tell these German dudes to go to the Holocaust Museum.
Well, I mean, it'll be probably good. I mean, like we're trying to avert them from, I mean, they did start 2 world wars in a row. Well, the only 2 world wars.
You know what? The Germans, and I'm going to say it, in the early 90s, they were a bunch of stinkers.
They were stinkers,
you know?
dude. But, you know.
They started a war with the world.
Yep.
And then, like, 30 years later, did it again.
Yep.
And they lost both of them.
They did lose both of them. You think they'd learn their lesson from the first one? Nope.
You would think.
Nope.
You would think.
Hey,
but nope.
Too much sausages and sauerkraut.
Yeah,
but
messes with
I
the
think
brain.
I think they well, no, I feel like the German people understand the dark history, and
yeah.
I feel like that would have been that's a good thing, you know what I mean? Telling people to go to a Holocaust museum and stuff like that. I get what you're saying, but yeah, I thought
it was just funny because there's so many.
No, I mean, if he had
museums down there in DC, like there's the Air and Space Museum, there's an Art History Museum, and every museum in DC is free.
Yeah,
it's actually a really fun place if you want to go.
Oh
down
no,
for
I
a
have.
weekend.
I went to the Smithsonian. Dude, it is a terrific place. I went to the crime.
I was speaking more to our audience.
Yes, I went to the.
This is your travel tips from Home Bar Happy Hour.
Crime.
Go.
What is it?
Don't spend all your time in bars. Sometimes go to a museum.
The crime. What was it? We went down when I was at when I was getting my criminal justice degree. We went down for the crime. The crime. I forget what it was. It was a crime history museum, dude. If you're into like gangsters from back in the day and stuff like that, dude, they had Bonnie and Clyde, that they had that original vehicle there that was shot up.
Yeah.
They had the St. Valentine's Day Massacre vehicle there. They had everything from all like a history of all the gangsters till you know terrorism now. like all the big stuff, dude. They had like the serial killer shit there, like some of the like um William H. Macy, Bill Gacy. Is that Gacy?
They
had his clown mask or his clown shit.
I think it's John
Gacy. Yes, they had John Gacy's clown shit there.
John Wayne Gacy.
Yes.
John Wayne. That's why you're thinking of W, because it was John Wayne.
So they had like
JWG.
They had
John
that there.
Wayne
They had
Gacy.
like cult shit from what the fuck's his face? That sicko.
Charles
Manson. They had Jeffrey Dahmer shit there. Like all the sickos. All the sickos. Dude, they even had,
and that's in D.C. This like murder museum.
Well, no, it's a crime museum. So it's basically all like America's biggest crimes, famous crimes, like all this different stuff, like all this different evidence and stuff like that. I'm just waiting for the. I'm pretty sure they could put in there the OJ gloves.
Hey, the killer's still out there. OJ, he's gone. God rest his soul. And they never caught the real killer. After that OJ trial, they just stopped looking for the killer. The LAPD really needs to step up and reopen this case. Keep looking for the guy.
Well, they just released all the files for that case.
Oh, did they? Oh, I haven't looked at them. I'll have to give them a read through.
Yeah, give them a read through.
I watched the documentary, that ESPN 30 for 30, or it was bigger than that. Right? It was like a 4-part episode. But a spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't seen it, OJ definitely did it. Like 100% he was a murderer.
Yeah, I'm like, I was just taking my kids to Disneyland.
Like,
I didn't know this, 30 police cars chasing me. I'm like, huh?
Dude, that's such a wild case, man. Imagine
what a great time
murdering someone, leaving your DNA and gloves behind, and then being like, well.
Remember, was that
guess it wasn't
that
me.
movie Lord of War? They had that. There was just like a 5-second bite where they had him on trial as like Nicolas Cage is checking into his African hotel, and the Africans are there. They're like, I went to go to America and they cut my wife's head off. That's such a terrible thing to laugh about, but it was just so funny because that's what people outside the U.S. are thinking about us.
Yeah.
But
true that.
Yeah, but do you have any great summer songs? I have a list here on our content. I think they were all great. Great songs like Don Henley, Boys of the Summer, any Bruce Springsteen song.
That's mine, right? Boys of Summer, the Don Henley, and the Ataris version. The Ataris did a cover of it in about 2003 on their So Long Astoria album.
I'll have to listen to that.
Man, that's a great cover. Yeah, it's really
Long
good.
Cool Women.
Don Henley version.
Long Cool Women by the Hollies is kind of like that, and Boston. Hold on a minute.
More Than a Feeling?
Yep, More Than a Feeling. Those two songs have reinvigorated. They're back into my life where I'm listening to them all the time right now. But dude, I feel like
I really like. Go
ahead.
I really like Len, Steal My Sunshine. They were kind of a one-hit wonder. But that song was like kind of cheeky.
That was back when
fun.
I was a senior in high school, I think. I heard that too many times.
90s.
That could be tossed out the window.
I love that song, man. It's a great bop, as the kids say.
Yeah, but yeah, I think like like Summer of '69, Heat of the Moment.
Oh yeah, great song.
Twilight, the song Twilight. Who sings that song?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Let me bring it up here because I have a lot of Golden Earring, Twilight Zone. Yeah. Yep, that Golden Earring is the band. Twilight Zone is the song.
Never heard of either of these things.
They brought that song back up in Godzilla Kong New Empire, and I'm like, oh hell yeah. But yeah, dude, like I got like a lot of 80s old school songs. Oh, You Call Me Al. You Could Call Me Al, Paul Simon.
Oh, that's a great one.
Dude.
For sure, Paul Simon.
We used to bust with Al. Call when Chevy Chase on Saturday Night Live. Oh, it was a great one. Just screaming right through here. Let's see here. The majority of them are on the back end of my playlist because that was when I first moved into the house and I needed some. Oh, dude, Return of the Mac. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh,
a good
dude,
one.
some Fresh Prince. Summertime.
Yeah. In the summer,
Oh yeah, man. Any type of like 80s, 90s like hip hop, pop culture music. Brian Adams.
For sure.
Brian Adams, Run to You. John
Oh,
Cafferty
Bryan
and the
Adams.
Beavertown or the Beaver Brown band On the Dark Side. Bang a Gong, T-Rex. The Stones. All great music for the summer, man. All great music. I mean,
All great summer
for those of
bops.
you who lived through the 80s and 90s, that's what we dig. But we're old. I'm an old timer now, so I guess I don't know. That's what they tell me.
Yep.
But
Getting up there.
Speaking of that, man, it was like I take my boat out, and there's still people that make plans that come out in a boat all week, and they flake out at the last minute. Could you imagine if?
Really?
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if no one would flake on your plans? And people do flake, man.
Yeah.
I told you how much. Now I've gone over it, but there have been a lot of people that have flaked out on my generous parties that I provide food and entertainment. All you got to do is just bring your own drinks, but nobody wants to come over, and they tell you that they're going to come over, and then they flake out at the last second after I buy all this food.
Flaking out on like a boat plan is that's a lot, right? Because you're putting a lot of effort into that, and you're rolling.
I put a lot of effort
That's
into my
definitely
parties
something.
making food. If you flake out on the boat,
Yeah.
you just get kicked into the back of the line.
But I lived in California, in Los Angeles for a while, and that is like the flakiest group of people you've at. Like, no one makes concrete plans for anything. It got to the point where I just stopped making plans with people because no one ever like showed up or followed through with any, and no one would make like a concrete, like, yeah, I'm going to come, I'm going to do that. Most of my outings in Los Angeles, I would often just go by myself and meet up with people. I can be boisterous
Free-spirited.
and outgoing, and meet a lot of friends, and you meet a lot of people that are also out by themselves or just doing. I went and saw Under Oath one time in Los Angeles, and my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, not a big fan of metal, doesn't like being screamed at. I love Under Oath, so I went by myself, and I stopped.
I think I'm on your wife's side on
Stop.
this one. I don't like being screamed at either.
Oh, I love a good
Good
death metal
screamer.
roar. But I was sitting at a bar like an hour or two before the doors opened, and there was just another guy in there by himself, and he was having a beer, and somehow or another we started talking, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to see Under Oath tonight." I'm like, "Me too," like it's like 2 blocks up. I just stopped in to get a beer. Hung out with that dude the whole night till like 3 a.m, like just me and this new friend.
I'm like, how
never got his number, never saw him again.
how you're-
perfect friend.
how you are with that. That's how I am when I get so it's like me. It's typically when I go golfing, it's with me and my chef, and and we set a tea time, and then we're just crossing our fingers, hoping we're paired up with like 2 cool dudes, and not like 2 people who are like in the PGA. Because I'm gonna be like, yo, man, if you're good, you're not gonna like us.
You're gonna have a bad time.
And last time we've been good here so far. So we paired up with like 2 other chefs, and then this last time we were out, we paired up with two vets. So there was it kind of balanced out for the boat. So there was like 2 chefs that chef knew, and there were 2 vets that I assimilated with that Chad couldn't. You know what I mean? So there was that assimilation. There was a balance. And we were all cool. You know what I mean? We're all hanging out and stuff like that. Well, they're retired and stuff. They're all cool dudes, man. And I think that was like the biggest thing. It's like, we're starting to simulate with each other. And, I could go down to Nashville, and I was down there by myself. And I just went out there and started I just went down there, went through the Johnny Cash Museum, went up to get lunch, and started drinking up at the Florida Georgia Line bar. And some dudes just saw my tattoo, and they were like, he came over, started asking me, hey, were you in the military and stuff like that? And I told him, and dude, I was like, who are you with? And he looked, pointing his hat. He was with the Green Berets, and I was like, and then like, dude, without a shot of like, dude, anybody who comes up and starts questioning me, and you know the any of the lingo and stuff like that, and where have you been, and especially if you say you're in Iraq and Afghanistan and stuff like that, we were transporters. Like, you can assimilate very well with them, and then you know that they're telling the truth and you're telling the truth. And then, dude, we hung out. Man, we had a great time the whole fucking time. We were day drinking all day, man. I follow the one guy on Instagram still, and I do got to get a hold of him. And him and his wife, they were a really good time. And then his retired Sergeant First Class was with, and, man, we had a great fucking time, man. We were at the karaoke bar letting our vocals loose. But, yeah,
it's always a blast, man. Just meeting up with people for a night.
I think that's like some good advice, Joe, that you just put there. It's just like, you know, dude, just go out there and just, you know, I like to put plans out like months in advance. Like, hey, put it in your calendar. That way, it's in your calendar. You don't forget about it. You can bring it up like, oh, hey, look, that's what I do. I put everything in my phone, my calendar. Somebody asks me like, hey, what are you doing that weekend? I bring it up, and I'm like, I ain't doing nothing. They're like, what, do you want to come to this? Yep, put it in right now. You know what I mean? So that's why I always say to them, like, I don't wait around to get alternative invitations and stuff like that. I commit to one person.
Commit to one thing.
Yep, that's how I do it. And like that way, when somebody's like, hey, you want to come out here? Say, I got to go to Wildwood, or I got to go, you know, I'm going to Jamaica, or I'm going to Cancun, or I'm going, you know, this place or that place. Hey, you want to come out on the weekend? Yep, got the boat. Oh, man, come on, man. Nope. I've been sitting around all year watching this thing winterized in the backyard. Dom, this thing is out. So maybe you want to come with me? You can come along with me. But speaking of being out on the boat and stuff like that, we're going to get our last segment of the show. We're going to get into, and you know it, beef time. And you know one of the biggest beefs I have, and this is a boat thing, jet skiers. You know why? We call them the gnats of the sea. You know why? Because
the gnats of the sea.
Anytime Dick and Harry go out and get a jet ski, and they have zero disregard of boat traffic. And if everybody thinks they get a boat and they just take the fuck off for it, no, there's some serious shit, dude. If you get in a crash on the road, like your truck just sits there, your vehicle just sits there, like and you gotta go to the hospital. You get in an accident out in the sea, your shit's gonna sink. And then you got to pay all. You think you get a tow truck is expensive? Where do you get a boat? Where do you get a boat tow? That's even more. And then the cops, the police are all out there and everything. And then like jet skiers. And I'm not even going to talk about jet skiers, but it's more jet skiers because they just come out of fucking nowhere. And they don't give a shit. They'll go right in front of the fucking bow of your fucking boat. They don't give a shit. Like, there's just there are some jet skiers out there, but they're, like, being a safe and responsible captain of people that are on my boat and of my vessel, I need to be situational awareness and keep my head on a swivel, understanding my surroundings. And when they come out of nowhere, they scare the fuck out of me, and I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they have no regard. And I didn't see the video of these motherfuckers. They're going so fast and they lose control of the fucking boat and it just flies right into yours. I'm just waiting for it to happen to me because I'm going to grab one of these cocksuckers by the throat and I'm going to just hold him down and drown him. Stay down there with your fucking jet ski, cocksucker. You just stay down there with the fishes. To Davy Jones's locker you go.
I will counterpoint. Jet skis are really fun.
They are fun, but
there's like hardly anything more fun than just ripping it on a jet ski. Whenever I go on vacation to like, you know, a cruise or an all-inclusive resort, that's the one excursion I always want to do. Because when you go and do like four-wheeling or something, those things are always governed back so much. You can hardly go fast. You're just in lines with everyone. When you're on a jet ski, they're like, welcome to the ocean, buddy. Just rip that thing.
Yeah, rip that thing and hit that.
I just love
hit that large body of water. Chop, and just hit it at like 110 miles an hour. Get your body launched through the fucking sky. Launch it right out of the boat because you're going so fast and you can't fucking pilot away from them.
Dude, I'm like Wave Runner 64. I'm doing jumps.
I'm glad
and flips.
I'm glad to see that the police are the water the boat police are taking more action against jet skiers than and leaving us commoners.
Are they?
Leaving us commoners away.
Us commoners.
Us common captains. Those of us who are practicing the laws of the sea. You know, without laws, Joe, we result to chaos. We result to jungle law.
We don't want no jungle law. Not in this timeline.
But that's all I got to say. Hey, this is another good showdown, brother.
Yep, I think that's it. I think we did another one. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Again, remember, like, subscribe, leave a review, whatever you can. Helps the show out a lot. And we will see you next time.
Also, hit us up. Our X account is officially open. So hit us up on X. Home Bar Happy Hour.
X, Twitter, Zitter, whatever you want to call it.
TikTok, we're open, man.
Yeah, TikToks. All right. See you.